Lovely. Okay, wow. So, 10 years ago, the two artists sitting in front of me were my first interviewees. And 10 years later, we're catching up for a very beautiful film that I think is in need of the hour in today's day and age. It's a lovely, easy breezy film called Love Guru, which will be releasing very soon. Humayun and Mahira, thank you so much for joining me on Filme Shilmy. It's so wonderful to have you both for so many years, and congratulations on the movie.
Thank you so much. It's amazing that you said that we were your first interviews back then. That's crazy.
I know I know it's crazy. I know I can't believe it myself. Like time has just literally flown by. But look, I think this film plays on the idea of a love guru, and I think in an era of dating apps and fleeting attention that people get on the digital space, what do you think makes someone worthy of that title in today's day and age?
Oh,
um, सी वैसे इससे पहले लव गुरु एक फिल्म आई भी है।
अच्छा।
हाँ, वो फिल्म आई है लव गुरु, और वो अच्छी नहीं थी।
ओहो।
तो किसी ने मुझसे कहा कि ये नाम ना रखो, लव गुरु फिल्म का नाम नहीं होना चाहिए। बट मैंने कहा हमारी फिल्म अच्छी है, इससे क्या फर्क पड़ता है। और ये जो नाम था वो हमारे आइडिया के बहुत करीब था, तो इसलिए हमने यही नाम रखा। और आई थिंक लोगों को फिल्म से मतलब होता है, इफ यू मेक अ गुड मूवी, और अगर लोगों को फिल्म अच्छी लग जाए तो फिर वो नाम भी अच्छा लगने लग जाता है। आई मेड अ मूवी विद द नेम ऑफ पंजाब नहीं जाऊंगी।
Hmm.
तो एवरीवन वाज सेइंग कि यार ये क्या नाम है, पंजाब नहीं जाऊंगी, ये कोई फिल्म का नाम नहीं है, और जब फिल्म हिट हो गई तो फिर सब लोग ये कहते थे कि ये नाम की वजह से हिट हुई है क्योंकि इसका नाम था पंजाब नहीं जाऊंगी। तो जब फिल्म चलती है तो फिर नाम भी चलता है और नाम भी हिट हो जाता है।
जी, बिल्कुल।
बस।
Lovely. Now, you both are known for very emotionally resonant roles. Like काफी अपने I mean अपने करियर में तो बहुत सारे ऐसे रोल्स किए हैं जो बहुत ही इमोशनल है, हैवी है प्ले करने के लिए. I think for you, Mahira, specifically, I would love to ask this question because how did it feel for you to kind of step into a space where in a way, love is a bit more larger than life. It's a bit more commercialized and often kind of mocked as well. And obviously, I think you've had this phase now for a while, actually. Like I remember we did an interview for Qaeda Azam Zindabad, like in the lockdown time. So it's interesting to see how you've navigating this phase from doing these very heavy, really emotionally driven roles to now these easy breezy ones. So what
Right.
has really contributed towards these decisions of yours?
That's an interesting thing or an interesting observation because uh, when I was younger, I was so hell bent on just doing. I remember I had a few choices and I went for Varna
Mm,
because I felt the subject was so important and that I need to be a part of it and I want to see these dialogues. Similarly, with a lot of other things, I think and at that time, even though I was offered roles which were these easy breezy at that time, I just felt like no, 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 I need to do this first. So it's interesting. I've had a kind of switch, um, and I and it's not by design at all, but I think it's just that I'm okay with doing it, and I know that if I don't do it now, when will I do it?
mm,
Uh, but I don't look at it that way,
mm,
if you know what I mean. I don't look at it as, oh, this is easy breezy and this is heavy. It's just what attracts me and what is offered to me also, but what attracts me towards something. Um, I shot for Jo Bache Hain, which is the Netflix project,
mm,
and then I shot for this. So, which was a great sort of combo almost. I don't work on two things at the same time, so I completed that and then I did this. But when I was doing that, that was heavy and it was dramatic, and it was everything, and it took everything out of me to do it. So I was actually very glad that I was coming into this where it was lighter.
mm.
But that doesn't mean that I did not, I think about things as much as I would do in a yeah, I do. It could be a really easy breezy thing. I still in my head I'm like, okay, What is she thinking? What's the backstory? How do I do this? How can I make it different? How can I make it more natural? So, but it's an interesting observation because these roles I am doing now versus back then. Yeah.
Yeah, true. No, exactly. I mean, even I was referencing to Bin Roy. I mean, that was literally as heavy as it comes, right? Even though it has the coating of it being a very easy breezy,
Oh no, 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 no.
and
Pinroy was
but it was
heavy,
heavy.
heavy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
Heavy drama.
heavy, heavy, heavy.
नो बट आई थिंक बात तो ये है ना कि एक्चुअली कॉमेडी सबसे ज्यादा डिफिकल्ट चीज होती है, मुश्किल चीज होती है, आई थिंक फॉर एनी एक्टर टू प्ले एंड आई थिंक when it involves love particularly, I think it's even the kind of layering to it almost adds a very complex sort of addition to that style of acting. Was there any moment for you, I think, Humayun, jab ke wo line between humor and emotional truth became difficult to balance during the making of Love Guru?
Hmm.
हम्म असल में इसके अंदर इस कैरेक्टर में जैसे शेड्स है ना, अब ये वासी जैसी कॉमेडी लिखता है ना, तो कभी कभी मुझे लगता है कि ये जैसा उसने लिखा है, ये मैं कैसे बोलूँगा, मुझे
Hmm.
नहीं समझ आता, क्योंकि मैंने कभी ऐसा बोला नहीं होता।
Hmm.
और तो लेकिन मैं नदीम के पास जाता था, बोलता था यार ये कैसे बोलेंगे, तो नदीम ने बोला तुम्हें ऐसे बोलना पड़ेगा, इसको ऐसे ही बोलो जैसे ये लिखा है, तो अगर तुम चाहते हो कि लोग हंसें तो उसकी उसकी टाइमिंग ये है। तो मैं इसमें बहुत दफ़ा ऐसा होता है कि मैं नदीम को कॉपी कर लेता हूँ।
Hmm.
वो जैसे बोलता है मैं बोलता हूँ मुझे ही करना है। ये मैं जवानी फिर आनी में भी यही किया था। जवानी फिर आनी में मुझसे सीन्स हो नहीं रहे थे। मैंने रिहर्सल में भी मुझसे नहीं हो रहे थे, और फिर मैंने कॉपी करने लग गया। मैं वासे को बोलता था तू मुझे पढ़ के सुना ये सीन, कैसे सोचता है तू, ये कैसे लोग हँसेंगे इस पे? तो वो जैसे बोलता था मैं वैसे करता था, और फिर मुझे अब किसी हद तक प्रैक्टिस हो गई, लेकिन इस फ़िल्म में उतनी कॉमेडी नहीं है। इट्स अ लाइट हार्टेड कैरेक्टर, तो वो इतना मुश्किल नहीं था। लेकिन यस, वो लड़कियों को या किसी को बेवकूफ़ बना रहा है या उसके कैरेक्टर में इस किस्म की चीज़ें हैं, तो वो सब जो है वो करने के लिए उसके अंदर कुछ ना कुछ मुझे ऐसा करना पड़ता था, जो कुछ चीज़ें लगे ऐसे कि वो लगे नहीं कि वो झूठ बोल रहा है, बट फिर भी लगे कि वो झूठ बोल रहा है। यू नो और जो सामने वाला कैरेक्टर है उसको ना लगे, लेकिन ऑडियंस को लगे कि ये झूठ बोल रहा है। तो वो मुश्किल होता है कि आपको आँखों में क्या एक्सप्रेशन लाना है, और अ, उसको किस तरह लेना है, पॉजेज़ कैसे लेने हैं। तो ये मेरे लिए इसमें डिफ़िकल्ट था, लेकिन आई थिंक अगर आपके पास डायरेक्टर अच्छा है तो यू नो फिर ठीक हो जाता है सब।
Hmm. Now, Myra, another thing that I've definitely really admired about you as well. We spoke about this at length actually when Qaid-e-Azam Zindabad was releasing. You've really been a very positive beacon representation of mental health awareness. And I think somehow now, actually, when I actually look back at the characters that you have played, they've always been very important. Like, they've always been characters which have never, in a way, subscribed to the patriarchal oppression. You've always sort of defied it. I mean, oh my God, these are very heavy words that I'm using. Apologies for that. But, these are very, like, very strong characters. Hello?
Yeah. Okay. Now you're back.
Yeah. So, I was using strong words like patriarchal oppression and all that, but these are really strong characters. They've been very non-conformist, if that makes sense, but at the same time, really safeguarding mental health.
Yes.
I know Love Guru is obviously it's a fun film, but I think somehow you always seem to find that strand as an actor. So I think for you, what really drove that sort of landscape for you as an artist, even in a film like this? Because Nadeem is known for his really fun movies, but at the same time, there's always a good emotional layering as well.
Right. So are you asking me where I bring in my own
Yes, and
little?
do you think it's a subconscious thing that sometimes you just do without even
I
thinking?
think so. It's definitely subconscious. It's what happens is that who you are as a person, the first time you read a script, you are reading it as you, right?
Mm,
So when you pick out things that you don't agree with in life in general, you point those out, and I do that. And then you go to your director, and your director either agrees with you or says that, hey, this is not you, this is a character, right? So so that's something I've done with everything that I work on. And again, like you said, it's very subconscious, but it's just who I am, and I just bring that to the table, right? But yes, sometimes it's not needed, sometimes it's not the character, and you have to surrender to that. But in this one specifically, I was very conscious of the fact that she is a girl of today. You know, Sophia Khan is, for me, a true blue feminist. She is someone who is always on the right side of the spectrum, you know. So small little things, I would go to Nadeem and be like, she wouldn't say this about another girl. And he's like, ah, done. I was like, she wouldn't, you know, is she that girl? And he's like, no. I was like, okay, great. So these, yes, I do bring these things to the table because I don't know, that's just
हाँ,
who
कुछ
I
चीज़ों पे
am.
तुम कुछ चीज़ों पे वो बोल कुछ चीज़ों पे वो ये बोलता है कि तुम जाती हो उसके पास कि ये कैसे बोलेगी, तो वो बोलेगा, वो बोलता है, हाँ, नहीं अच्छा लगेगा, ये अच्छा लगेगा, तो मतलब तुमको लगता है कि ये ठीक नहीं लगेगा।
नहीं, हाँ,
हाँ,
मगर
कुछ
जैसे कुछ
हाँ,
चीजें, जैसे अगर वो किसी, जैसे अगर लिखा हुआ है कि वो किसी लड़की के बारे में कह रही है
हाँ,
कि वो तो वैसी लड़की है,
हाँ,
तो
अब वो हटा
वो
देता है।
छोटी चीजें हैं, they're just small things, they don't make such a big difference. But for me, this character is not that, right? And I do, I sometimes carry that responsibility, but well, eh,
You play it very beautifully, and I think I've always admired that about you as well. A final
it's-
that like you mentioned, that Netflix original. I mean, it sounds exciting. I think when I heard the news, I think I was so fascinated to see how it pans out, and I'm really looking forward to that. Um, but I think it's wonderful to see like sort of South Asian stories now kind of going global. Um, at the same time, it also does make me think that are we also not kind of compromising on our identity, on our actual like background in terms of getting that Western validation? But when you bring films like Love Guru, though, which have actually been shot in the UK, it kind of makes me rest assured a little bit, because I feel like it's good that at least we're seeing authentic stories that are also, sort of appealing to the diaspora abroad. So I guess for you both, because I know, Humayun, you've also been done some really great international work as well. Um, so for you in The Crown, so how has that being a very important mindset, whether Myra, whether it is you going to Cannes and representing and really owning that red carpet like a boss, how important has it been for you all to kind of make sure that representation equals equality and authenticity? Heavy question, sorry.
representation equals equality and what?
Authenticity.
Authenticity. Again, I think, I personally think it's so important for all of us, whether he is in The Crown or I go to Cannes, whatever it may be. Honestly, we all do the best we can to represent where we come from, our country, right? I think world over people do that. It's just about the opportunities you get,
Mm,
and I hope that we get more opportunities, and I hope that more people can represent us outside of our country. Authenticity, though, is personal, you
mm,
know, it's personal. So that, I think, is a personal thing. I have to know that I'm being authentic to myself, at the risk of sometimes maybe breaking someone's heart, or saying something which I may believe in and others don't. Do you know what I mean? But
mm,
it still
sure.
falls back into authenticity, and that eventually, I think, goes a long, long way, at least in my experience. Yeah.
Sure. My very last comment, any closing statements about that if you'd like to make?
रिप्रेजेंटेशन के हवाले से ही बोलूँगा कि हम जब भी हमें कहीं बाहर जाना होता है, या आप क्राउन की एग्जांपल ले लें कि जो भी उसमें कैरेक्टर था, इम्पोर्टेंट कैरेक्टर था, और वो मैंने पूरी मेहनत से किया, मैंने उसको बहुत टाइम दिया, और ये दिमाग में होती थी बात कि ये दुनिया देखेगी।
दुनिया देखी,
हाँ, ये
उफ,
दुनिया देखेगी।
I was most excited, by the way. I was screaming on the phone when I heard it.
तो उसका एक प्रेशर था, लेकिन आई एम ग्लैड कि वो जो लोग मेरे साथ काम कर रहे थे वो भी बहुत अच्छे थे। उन्होंने मुझे कंफर्टेबल बनाया, कि अलग मुल्क से आया है और एक अलग लैंग्वेज में काम कर रहा है। तो लेकिन मैंने अपनी तरफ से पूरी कोशिश की, और उसी से हमारी इज्जत इसी में बनती है कि आप वहाँ जाके किस तरीके से काम करते हैं। और वहाँ पे यहाँ पे मैंने देखा कि सब ऑन टाइम हो रहा था, सब लोग खामोशी से काम कर रहे थे, और सबकी प्रायोरिटी जो है वो सारा दिन जो है वो सिर्फ वो काम को कंप्लीट करने में होती है।
Hmm.
और होती हमारी भी यहाँ है, लेकिन हमसे शायद कुछ गलतियां हो जाती हैं, लेकिन यहाँ आके आप कोई गलती नहीं करते, और यही मैंने किया, और पूरी कोशिश की।
Right. Well, look, on that note, thank you so much, Mahir, and thank you so much, Humayun, for joining me on Filme Shilmy. It's been always such a wonderful time to sort of speak with you. And gosh, I feel like life has come a full circle, actually. 10 years ago, and 10 years.
Listen, we're also feeling that.
हाँ।
I was telling Humayun that 10 years ago, I was
हम्म।
Preparing for a big Shah Rukh Khan film, which you could not divulge at that time as well, properly.
the poster had come out at that time. It was a great time for me.
Yeah.
I was just telling him about us
Yeah,
and how things have changed and life has come a full circle.
really has. Well,
Great.
look, can't wait to watch the film, and wishing you all the very best for the release.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so
Thank
much.
you, love. Thank you so
थैंक
much.
यू अनुज।
Bye
Thank
bye.